What's up, everyone? Mr. YouTube Gamer giving you guys another Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 gameplay commentary. We're playing Team Deathmatch on Resistance, which is probably the best map in the game. Really close next to Dome. I mean, I can't tell which one of those two maps are the best. But we're going to talk a little bit about MW3 today. And we got the M16 grenade launcher, of course, because that's like my favorite combo. I am Mr. YouTube Gamer, so what do you expect? This ain't the M16 from COD 4, though. If you've played COD 4 MWR, you know the M16 is fucking crazy. The M16 in this game, not so much. I mean, it's pretty good, but it's not like one of the best weapons in the game. It's not as overpowered as the M16 was in COD 4. And I'm trying to noob tube this guy. It doesn't work. So I just panic knife him. I really missed the panic knife, by the way. Like, am I the only one that wishes that they didn't get rid of it? Now it's like a 2-hit melee. You weapon bash people. That's how you kill with melee. I want 1-hit melee back. I want the panic knife back. I don't care if that makes me like a noob or something. That's what I want. I want the panic knife to return in Call of Duty. They never should have gotten rid of it. I love the panic knife so much. But Modern Warfare 3 was probably the first Call of Duty game. You know, now that we're looking back at older Call of Duties, because I just don't want to play Cold War. I want to avoid that game as much as I possibly can, because that game to me is like just a pile of fucking dog shit. Like, I'm not trying to be so negative, but I can't stand that game. It's terrible. Awful. Like, I'm honestly, I'm not sure if I hate, which Call of Duty I hate more. Do I hate Modern Warfare 2019 or Cold War? Which one do I think is the worst? I'm leaning more towards Modern Warfare, but Cold War is giving that game a run for its money for the worst COD ever made. And of course, you know, I'm not including the ones that came out on the DS or Black Ops Declassified on PlayStation Vita. Those games don't really count. Or what was the other one? Call of Duty World at War Final Fronts. That was a shitty one also. No, I'm talking about mainline Call of Duties. Cold War is really close to being the worst one. But for a long time, I considered Modern Warfare 3 to be one of the worst CODs. And it was actually the first Call of Duty game that I ever played where I was really disappointed. So, Modern Warfare 2, as you guys know, was my first COD, and it was also my first M-rated game that I was able to play. I got it for Christmas 2009. I was 11 years old. I wasn't allowed to play FPS games or shooting games before, so Modern Warfare 2 was really special for me because I never even played an FPS before that. And, oh man, I have so many great memories with that game, and it is still one of my favorite Call of Duty games of all time. It's probably my second favorite or third favorite. Black Ops 1 is still my favorite. And when that game came out, I could never put the fucking controller down. I mean, the multiplayer was fantastic. The single-player campaign is still my favorite of all the single-player CODs. And the zombies. Can't forget about the zombies. The zombies were fucking awesome. And back then, I was actually, like, really obsessed with zombies. I think I played more zombies than multiplayer, which is weird because these days, I never even played a single match of zombies in Black Ops 4. I never played it in World War II. And I've yet to play it in Cold War. I don't know if it's good in Cold War. Let me know in the comments if the Cold War zombies are actually good. Maybe I'll squad up with some of you guys because I don't really have people to play with right now because none of my friends are really into Call of Duty. So maybe I'll play some Cold War zombies with you guys. Maybe I'll do a live stream, which is something I've never done before. So that'd be really cool. But yeah, that's the thing, man. I loved Modern Warfare 2. I loved Black Ops 1. And I was so hyped for Modern Warfare 3 that I couldn't fucking contain the hype. I was so excited. I was more excited for Modern Warfare 3 than any other game that was coming out at that time. And 2011 was a fantastic year for gaming, but only thing I cared about was MW3. So I pre-ordered the game and everything. I stood in line for over an hour because the line at GameStop, I remember, it was the Kings Plaza Mall in Brooklyn. Hey, anyone from Brooklyn who knows Kings Plaza Mall? Back then, they had like 3 GameStops. Now they don't have any GameStop, and since they closed down GameStop, I haven't gone to Kings Plaza. I don't even live in Brooklyn anymore, so you know I haven't been to that mall in a minute. Last I remember, there was a bunch of riots and shit. I don't know. I don't know how it is over there anymore. But yeah, it was the Kings Plaza Mall in Brooklyn, and I remember the line was out the door, and I pre-ordered it at GameStop, and even though I paid in full because if you put the $5 into it, you have to stand on a longer line. Even if you paid in full, the line was still fucking out the door. It was like almost a mile long, like almost to the entrance of the mall to the GameStop, which was like halfway into the mall. It was a long ass line, and I waited over an hour to get on that to fucking finally get the game, even though I pre-ordered it and everything. And I got home, I played it for like 2 hours, which is not a long time for a brand new Call of Duty game for me to play. Like, usually if a new COD comes out, I'm playing that shit for like at least 10, 11, 12 hours. Like, I know life the fuck out of that when a new COD comes out. But with this one, I couldn't care. I mean, I couldn't be bothered. Like, 2 hours later, I'm like, this game, this ain't it. It feels like Modern Warfare 2.5. That's what MW3 felt like to me. It didn't really do anything better than Modern Warfare 2. It literally felt like an asset flip. Like, they just took everything from Modern Warfare 2, copy and pasted it into MW3. Of course, they made new maps, and you had a couple good ones, like I said, Resistance and Dome. Survival mode was pretty fun, but nothing like Black Ops 1 Zombies. And, I don't know, it was just missing something. It didn't really do anything special. Like, if you look back at the transition from Call of Duty 4 to Modern Warfare 2, it was huge. Like, no one ever called Modern Warfare 2 COD 4.5, because those two, while they were part of the Modern Warfare series and MW2 was a sequel, it was a completely different experience than COD 4, Modern Warfare 2. But when you do the same comparison between MW2 and MW3, there's virtually no fucking difference. Okay, maybe it's less OP, you know, like you don't got the fucking AC-130 and shit, and the tactical nuke and crazy shit. Like, Danger Close isn't really a thing, and there's no one-man army noob tube. And the noob tube, as you can see in the gameplay, is not that OP. Like, I mean, it's, you know, more overpowered than recent Call of Duty games where it pretty much shoots like a BB gun. Like, the noob tube these days in modern COD is nothing. But ooh, I got a good noob tube with that though, so maybe it's not all bad. But there really wasn't anything special about this game. And going back and playing it, I have a good amount of fun, but I remember, I look back at how disappointed I was when this game first came out, and I'm thinking, like, it's still a lot better than Cold War. Like, the disappointment I have for Cold War is just so much greater than anything I ever had for Modern Warfare 3. Modern Warfare 3 is actually, I think it's probably my least played Call of Duty. Like, I think I put more hours into Infinite Warfare and Ghosts than MW3. MW3 just wasn't it for me, but I know a lot of people loved it. Maybe the people who loved Modern Warfare 3 so much, they liked the gameplay of Modern Warfare 2, but hated how unbalanced it was. So I guess for that was enough for a lot of people, that at least they made it more balanced, and they fixed a lot of the issues that Modern Warfare 2 had and just reskinned it into MW3. But for me, I wanted so much more than just that. I remember MW3 was just such a huge disappointment for me. I don't even think I ever hit like 24 hours in like my total playtime in this game. And you could see on this account that the hours I have in this game, like I'm like level 20. That's because I made a new account like over a year ago. So that's why my level is so low. I don't even think I made it to, like, on my main account that I had before I made a new one. I don't think I even made it to first prestige, because I just couldn't give a fuck. I couldn't invest myself into this game. But the weird thing is, since with all the shitty games we had before, like, I mean, after Modern Warfare 3, Modern Warfare 3 isn't that bad compared to, I mean, Infinite Warfare, Ghost. I think Modern Warfare 3 is actually a better game. But that's only going back and looking at it. But I forgot how good the theater mode was in MW3. You got a fucking final kill cam, you got kill cams and shit. Final score, 30 kills, 6 deaths. That's like, what, 5 KD? Pretty good. I mean, the people who still play this game, they know their shit because they've been playing for a really long time, so it wasn't easy. But you know, in Cold War, you'll never find a game where you're dominating 7,500 to 6,000. It's got to be like a close-ass fucking game because of that awful skill-based matchmaking. You had SBMM in Modern Warfare 3, but it was nothing like what we got now. So, yeah, going back, I can appreciate Modern Warfare 3 a little bit more than I did back in its prime, because I didn't really play much of MW3 during its prime, but I'm playing it now, and actually, I don't think it's as bad as I thought it was back then, but that's only in comparison to the games that came out after that were fucking terrible. I think every Call of Duty that Infinity Ward has released since Modern Warfare 3 has been worse than Modern Warfare 3. Easily. And Modern Warfare 3 really isn't a bad game. They just didn't put a lot of effort or thought into it. They just reskinned Modern Warfare 2 and called it a sequel. The single player was awesome, but the multiplayer meh. I'd rather go back and play Modern Warfare 2, to be honest. But let me know what you guys thought about Modern Warfare 3. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Or were you just kind of, like, indifferent towards it like I was? Like, it's not a bad game, but it's not a good game either, because they really didn't do anything that different to make it a sequel. Like, compared to Modern Warfare 2, they just copy and pasted it pretty much. It was Modern Warfare 2.5. A less fun version of Modern Warfare 2. But to be fair, they did a lot of good stuff. I think the point streak system is better than the score streaks and kill streaks that we have in recent CODs. I wish they brought point streaks back. I do kind of like the variation. You have the assault, support, and specialist streaks. So there were some good things, but ultimately, it really wasn't enough to make me stay and play for like a full year. I probably played it like for like a few weeks, and then I stopped. Maybe I came back like every once in a while, but I couldn't, like, consistently play this game. It was just too boring for me. But I want to hear what you guys have to say in the comments down below. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.